Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today is Tuesday and yesterday was Bank Holiday Monday, so it feels like a Monday today. So it feels like the start of a week, although it is not. I have literally not picked up a book in a week because I finished a book last Tuesday and then straight away picked up a book that I did not want to read, read one chapter of it and put it down, and I haven't had bed since. So I made the executive decision last night to leave that book alone for now. I picked up the next book in the Rose Hill series on my Kindle just before bed last night, so I read a couple of chapters of that one. And then I also today started a new audiobook. So I picked up Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, which is book 2 in the Part of Your World series. I literally listened to one chapter of that today, but I'm on a mission to get some books read this week. I over the weekend filmed my April wrap up and I realised that every month this year I have read an extra book from the previous month. So in April I read 5, March I read 4, February I read 3 and January I read 2. So if I read 6 in May, then that would be like a steady increase and that would be amazing. Now I don't think I can do it because it is already the 5th. Yeah, it's already the 5th of May and I've literally only just picked up 2 books, so I'm at the beginning of 2 books. So I don't think I'll get to 6, but I've decided that I'm going to give it my all. So I thought that we could do a little reading blog for the next couple of days. So obviously it's Tuesday, so the week has well and truly started. It's like Tuesday evening, so we are well and truly into the week. So I'm probably going to keep this going until maybe like Friday or something and see if we can get some books read and finished by then. It is 7:15 and I need to pack my gym bag for tomorrow, and I think that's kind of all I need to do. I need to pack my gym bag for tomorrow and then I can read some. So maybe what I'll do is listen to a chapter of the audiobook while I'm sorting out my bag and then pick up my Kindle. I do kind of want to play a little bit of Animal Crossing, so if I do that then I'll listen to the audiobook for a while. Let me tell you where I got to. Wildside on my Kindle, picked it up yesterday and I read the first 4 chapters. So I'm on chapter 5, which is 8% of the way through. I kind of want to set myself an unrealistic expectation or like goal, and if I could get this to 20% today, then that would leave me in a very good spot to like maybe get it finished by the end of the week. But it's already 7:15. I don't know, but I'm going to try and I will let you know how we get on. Okay, so I am now 21% of the way into Yours Truly because I have just been doing little jobs around and then sat down to play Animal Crossing, so I've been listening to it. I'm on chapter 11 right now and there's 2 things that I want to say. One is this is the second book in like 2 weeks that I've read where there's the mention of an African grey parrot, and I don't know if that seems niche to anybody else, but that just seems so random to me that in the past like 2 weeks I've had 2 different books by 2 different authors and they with the mention of an African grey parrot. That just seems like very strange, like a very strange coincidence to me. The other thing I want to mention, and it's not a spoiler because it comes up in chapter 2, but the male main character of this book, his ex-girlfriend is marrying his brother. That is crazy. I know there's books with actual tropes of like boyfriend's best friend, and there are other books where like the female main character ends up with her husband's brother or boyfriend's brother and stuff, but it was just so casually mentioned and it was talked about a little bit like in his family dynamic, but it's just like, oh yeah, it's fine now, it doesn't matter. That is so weird to me. This is a very easy listen. The interactions between the 2 of them are obviously through letters and like notes that they leave each other, where the name Yours Truly comes from. but it's a very easy to listen to book, and I feel like I can like get through this in a couple of days. I do want to, however, pick up my Kindle soon, so I want to I'm doing some redecorating on my island, so I want to listen to a chapter or two more, and then I do want to pick up my Kindle for the rest of the evening to kind of get a little bit further into Wildside. Yeah, we'll do another check-in in a while when I read about that one. I am literally about to go to bed. I'm just taking my makeup off before I go to wash my face. So I thought I'd give a little update on how far we got. So with Wildside, I've read up to, I'm on chapter 9, which is 16% of the way through. I had originally wanted to get up to 20%. However, I didn't expect to listen to my audiobook for so long. So I'm okay with 16% for now. I might read a chapter before I actually fall asleep. But with yours truly, I got up to 39%. So all in all, it's been a pretty successful day. I told you my thoughts on yours truly a little while ago, so let's talk about Wildside. This is the third book in the Rose Hill series. What I'm about to say is like a little bit spoilery. Not really, but I don't know, if you don't want to know anything about it, if you've not read it and you don't want to know anything about it, maybe skip ahead. But at the end of the second book, you find out that Rhys and Tabitha are getting married. And you kind of know it's like a forced marriage of some sort. But the third book has like gone back in time. So it started like 2 years ago and then like fast forward to now. But the now is back in time in comparison to the previous book. So like they're not engaged or anything. They've kind of just like met again for, obviously not the first time because they met 2 years ago, but they've just kind of met again for this time. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like building up to the fact that they're going to be getting engaged. Like it's clearly marriage and convenience, and it's very obvious from the very beginning of the book what the purpose of that marriage is. Like I know right now why they would end up getting married. Can I say it? Can I not say it? Basically, he's American, she's Canadian, and currently not because they like each other, but for other reasons. He kind of needs to be able to stay in Canada for longer than 6 months or whatever he's allowed to stay for. So I know now that that's why they're going to get engaged. It's kind of more so you're learning about how we get to that point. I was kind of quite enjoying the first few chapters of the book a lot. Kind of seeing like their background and the way they were like not getting on and stuff. But now at this point, because I know, after thinking about it, like I know they're going to get married, they're obviously going to really fall in love because it's a romance novel. But I also know at this point from the previous chapter know why they would need to get married. There's kind of nothing left to learn. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to enjoy this one any more than I enjoyed the previous two, because as we know, I have not really loved the books in this series. They've just been bang average for me. So I'm going to need there to be something that I'm not expecting. 16% of the way in, and I already know exactly what's going to happen and why it's going to happen. And there's obviously going to be some sort of a third act breakup, and then they're going to be in love again. And I would just like to be shocked by something or learn something revolutionary. There are kind of like twists that I'm already anticipating probably going to happen, like why Rhys had kicked the sister out of the place she was living and stuff. So like I kind of want to know the full details there. I kind of think that I already know the truth behind all this. Pretty much the same as the other two books in the series. Pretty surface level stuff. This is like, there's big stuff happening in this book, but it's just not anything that I'm surprised by. But that is where we are for now. I'm going to go wash my face and go to bed. Maybe read one more chapter, and then hopefully tomorrow get a good chunk of the way through. With Wildside, I think yours truly is like such an easy listen that I'm going to fly through that anyway. But I would like to get a good dint in Wildside, and then maybe by this weekend I could have 2 books completed, which would be unbelievable. But for now, I'm going to bed. Good night. This vlog has been a disaster. I don't think I've vlogged since Wednesday. It is now Saturday afternoon. It is 4 o'clock and I am not finished either of the books that I wanted to be finished. As you saw there while I was drying my hair, I am still listening to yours truly. I'm now 76% of the way through this one. I should get it finished, I'd say, by tomorrow. Not doing as good with Wild Side. I'm literally 20% of the way through Wild Side. I want it to be a lot further along at this stage of the week. As I said, it's 4 o'clock now and I've nothing else really to do for the next couple of hours until I need to make dinner. So I'm going to pick up my Kindle and read a bit of Wild Side and hopefully get some done. I would love to get it finished by the end of the weekend, but I don't know if it's possible. We will have to see. But yeah, this time of year is just so busy in school, in work, all of the things. So I just haven't had as much reading time as I would like. But summer is coming and then I'll be flying through the books hopefully then. I'm going to give an update on both books. So we'll start with yours truly because I have been listening to that this morning and while I dried my hair. The only part of the book that I don't like is the main trope, which is fake dating. I just don't like fake dating tropes though. It's not got to do with this particular book. It's just, they don't really make sense to me most of the time. Like, no matter how much background is given and like why they have to do it, I still just think it's silly, personally. I quite like both of the main characters. Again, there is some miscommunication that's just stopping things from progressing. It's very clear and obvious what's going to happen going forward. And at this point I kind of feel like we could hurry up and get things going. So like we're 75% of the way through and I do feel like they should have progressed a little bit more by now. I wouldn't say it's slow, like it's a very easy listen. I just personally would prefer for it to like have moved a bit quicker. It is very much like just, it's grand, it's a fine book. I am still waiting on an Abby Jimenez book to grip me and like make me feel all the emotions that everybody else claims to feel when they read Abby Jimenez, and this one still isn't doing it for me. So I will continue my Abby Jimenez journey and hopefully someday I'll get there. Maybe she's just not going to be one of my 5-star authors. I kind of just assumed she'd be like another Emily Henry for me, but she's just not quite hitting the same. Okay, so Wild Side, I am about to start chapter 11. I think I gave a little update on this before where I was saying that because it's kind of gone back in time, like I know how it's gonna end. I know that they're gonna get engaged and I know why based on things that they've talked about already. I kind of just want that to come around so then I can see them actually, obviously they're gonna fall in love, so I wanted to see that unfolding. So I just want to get to that point, and it's still, from my memory, chapter 11, chapter 10 up to now, that's still like a little bit in the future. It's not gonna happen like right now. So I kind of just want to sit and read for a bit and see where we get with that one. So that's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to stop yapping and start reading and then check in when I make a little bit more progress with Wild Side. Okay, I've been reading for about 40 minutes now. I've gotten up to chapter 17, which is 34% of the way through, and have just realised that when I was giving my last little update, I was saying about yours truly, I don't really like a fake dating trope, and I've known this whole time that they're getting like fake married, but it didn't occur to me that it's also a fake dating trope. I think the difference for me is in yours truly, there's no like real necessity for them to fake date, if you know what I mean. Whereas in this one, they're not fake dating. They're like, it's like marriage and convenience, I suppose. They're like fake getting married for a visa, which I kind of understand a bit more. So I'm contradicting myself here because it's actually kind of a storyline I can get behind in Wild Side, but not in yours truly. I don't know. I'm a hypocrite, sue me. Anyway, I need to take a little break now. It's 5 o'clock, so I'm going to go put dinner on. And while I'm cooking, I'll probably listen to some more of yours truly. Just so I'm making some sort of progress with something. Because I wanted to be finished both of them by today. And I'm finished neither of them. I am enjoying Wild Side, but obviously it's still at the part where they like don't like each other. So I needed to get to where they start like liking each other properly, for like the romance to kick in, and then at that point I think I'll be liking it a little bit more. I would say so far similar vibes to Wild Eyes and Wild Love, like averagey kind of read. This one I feel like might pull it out of the park and be a little bit better for me. I do really want to know some more about like the sister, and like why they both have false narratives of what was going on in her life. and I hope that like they discuss that and we learn what actually happened there, because if they don't, I'm going to be annoyed. Anyway, I'm going to go cook and listen to my audiobook and then maybe read some more on my Okay, so I've now read up to chapter 23. I'm on 44% of Wildside. I've been reading for a little bit and it's 8:30 now. And I just I'm getting tired and I don't think I can read anymore. So I usually would read later into the night. But I think that's it for today. I do think this one has potential to be my favourite in the series so far. They've gotten married now and I feel like things are going to start unfolding, so there's still like a good chunk of the book left to like find out more about them and find out what happened with the sister and stuff, and obviously see what's going to happen for them in the future, which is nice. I find this one quite different than the first two in the series. It just reads like a different series. Like obviously there's crossovers with this characters from book 1 and 2 in this book, but it just doesn't feel the same as those two did. This feels like almost like a spin-off book from the series rather than the third book in the series. But I'm not complaining because I am liking it a little bit more than I like the first two. As for yours truly, I did listen while I was making dinner and I'm now on 85%. I think probably in the morning when I'm getting ready and stuff I'll probably finish that one off. So at least I'll have one book finished for this week. And then if I get any reading done tonight, maybe I'll hopefully get to maybe 50% of Wildside and then work on that again tomorrow and see how far we get. But I think for tonight, that's it. I'm just too tired. I think we're going to watch a movie and stuff, so I will see you tomorrow. Okay, I have literally 2 chapters left of yours truly, but I had to hop on and say that third act breakup is horrendous, like so bad. I hate third act breakups just for the sake of it, and I feel like they've already had like a bit of a breakup, like a bit of a bumpy road. Was it necessary for them to break up when there's 5% left of the book? I personally think not. I think they could have just figured their shit out and lived happily ever after. But like, this isn't a spoiler because every romance book is the same. There's a breakup, they're gonna end up together obviously. But I just don't think that they needed to break up now because they had such a rocky time getting together. I'd like to speak to somebody who decides that all romance authors need to include a third act breakup, and I'd like to tell them that they are wrong, because now they don't. Okay, I've now finished not Part of Your World, Yours Truly, which is the second book in the Part of Your World series. This is my 5th Abby Jimenez book and it's a 3-star. It's a 3-star for me. It's just the first book in the Part of Your World series I gave 3.5 stars to. And I thought maybe this one is the series for me. I don't hate them. I'm going to continue reading her stuff. She's just not a 5-star author for me, and so many people who I have similar tastes to online love her. So I'm going to keep trying and I'm going to hopefully find something that is like a 4-star at least. For Yours Truly, I just felt there was a lot of unnecessary stuff that was happening, like the third act breakup, some of the miscommunication and stuff. Like if you're in a fake dating situation with somebody and there's going to be like a medical procedure and all this and all these things you're willing to do, but you're not willing to tell them the truth, like honestly, grow up. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that one. It's 3 stars. I thought it was going to be like a 3.5 until the third act breakup that ruined it for me. So 3 stars for me. But I'm going to keep trying. There's another book in this series, I think at least one more, and then I'll go on to the next series and I'll try again then. I don't know, maybe she's not for me. So I decided that while I was dicing in my hair and doing my makeup, I was going to listen to Wildside on audiobook, because I finished Yours Truly on audio this morning and I thought I'll get ahead with Wildside. So I grabbed my phone, got my earphones. As I was dicing in my hair, I listened to 2 chapters. I listened to Arish chapter and a Tabitha chapter, and why? are the people narrating it, their voices are so weird to me. His voice is like really gruff, which suits his character but also wasn't what I was expecting. It just sounds a little off. And then her voice, there's some like twinge in the way she talks, and it almost sounds like an AI kind of voice, an AI voice. I don't know, but all I know is I don't think I'm going to be able to listen to much of this on audio. I'm about to do my makeup, so I'll probably listen to a chapter or two while I do that. But I definitely won't be choosing audiobook over Kindle for this one. It is 11:10 now. I'm on chapter 27, but I have a friend coming over for the day, which means I'm not going to be getting very much reading, if any, done today. I am on 53%, and I would love to somehow get this finished by the end of today, because my goal at the start of this week was to get 2 books finished this week. I don't know if I can do it, but I'm going to persevere with the audiobook and try. Wish me luck. Okay, hello. Hi. I have been listening to the audiobook on and off all day, and I'm just about to sit down and pick up my Kindle because I can't listen to the audiobook anymore because 1, as I said earlier on, the voices are so weird, and 2, the spicy scenes are very spicy, and I just don't like listening to those in audiobook because I feel like I need to like fast forward through them because it's so cringe listening to it out loud. So I just can't do the audiobook anymore. I'm on 74%, I think, chapter 35. I was enjoying it a lot, and now I'm starting to get bored a little bit. I kind of would like something interesting to happen. I don't really know what's going to happen. There's like 25% left, and I don't see where it's going to go for 25% of the book, other than a happy ending. So I hope it's just not like dragged out for no reason and gets a bit boring. But same with Abby Jimenez. Both of her series, this series by Elsie Silver is just not doing it for me. I mentioned in my last vlog that Chestnut Springs I loved, but Rose Hill is just not doing it for me. This book I think maybe I've enjoyed more than the other two, but like not a lot, like not like an extra star or anything. I'm still hoping to get finished tonight. That would be nice. I have a couple of other bits to do, and then I'm going to sit down and read, so maybe I'll get 25% read, which will mean I'm finished, but I don't know. I'm not sure. All I know is I can't listen to audiobook anymore. Hello guys. It has been quite a few days, and I just went to edit this vlog and I realised I never updated with Wildside. I got it finished. Now I didn't get it finished until Monday, so technically it was a little bit over a week, but I don't think I started reading until last Tuesday. So between Tuesday and the following Monday, I did get my 2 books finished, which I am very happy about. And then I today now being Tuesday again, started a new audiobook which I got from NetGalley, and I've already gotten like 15% of the way through, so I could possibly do 6 books in May. That is my goal for May. It is already the 12th, so I need to speed things up if I want to do 6 books, but we'll see. Let's talk about Wildside. Wildside was my favourite book of this series so far. It is book number 3 out of a 4-book series. When I say it was my favourite book, I mean I gave this 3.5 stars and I gave the other 2 3. So it's not like revolutionary. I did like it, and I really loved, thank you Elsie Silver, I loved that they didn't do a 3rd act breakup. They did a 3rd act conflict, which made so much sense. It fit into the plot and the characters, and it just made sense, and I liked it. I was happy with it. There's nothing I hate more than an unnecessary 3rd act breakup or conflict. There were some things that I just found held me back from giving it higher. I did debate giving it a 4-star. The reason I didn't is because there were some aspects of the story that I thought were just a little bit too much of a reach. For example, how quickly they just got married. And I know why the decision was made, and what like encouraged them both to do it, but I feel like but in real life there would probably be a longer conversation around it. The other thing that held me back from giving it 4 stars was, for some reason, and I don't know why, I hated the spicy scenes in this book. They felt kind of like I was encroaching on somebody's privacy. I don't know what about these specifically I didn't like, other than I just felt like it was a little bit too much information. Usually I don't mind a spicy scene. For this series I found I've not loved them. But then in this particular book, and it may be because by some coincidence, almost every spicy scene we got to, apart from maybe one or two, I was listening to it on audiobook rather than reading it at the time. And I think it was listening to, because I've already mentioned I wasn't a big fan of the voice actors. I think it was listening to their voices reading those spicy scenes to me that I just didn't like. So maybe that was it. So kind of an accumulation of those three things. I didn't like the voice actors. I did not like the spicy scenes, and some of it just felt like a bit, you'd probably have a little think about that before you agree to it. So because of that, I rated it 3.5 stars, but I'm actually quite happy that I rated it a half a star above the other two, because, I don't know, I was feeling bad for it at 3 stars as a series. So there is one book left in this series. I'm hoping that I enjoy it just as much, if not more, than this one. I know who it's going to be based on. It was very obvious throughout this book who the next book was going to be based on, and there is part of me that already I kind of don't care about these characters, so I don't know. I'm nervous to go into Wildcard, but I'm going to give it a go. I'm actually going to make it my next physical read. I'm probably going to vlog it because I'm having a great time making my reading vlogs. But if you watched this video the whole way through, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.